Hello everyone and welcome to our Australia trip, July 2017. We stopped first in Sydney for about 4 or 5 days, and our first morning there we went straight on a tour, heading out to see various parts of the harbor. It was a beautiful day we had there, and all of the weather the whole time we were there was clear and fairly warm for being winter, but a little chilly. That's the Sydney Opera House. There'll be lots of pictures of that. And then the Harbor Bridge, which you will see and you just saw a second ago. This is Manly Beach, which was a really pretty beach that we stopped at. The next day we went up the Sydney Tower Eye, and this is a view from the tower out onto the city, so you can see all around. And then that's the Harbor Bridge, and you can actually hike up onto it, but we just walked across part of it, and there's a little museum there that we went into as well, which was interesting. And the next day we went on a tour of the Opera House and a cruise around the harbor. So this is the tiles outside. You can see them up close. And then we went inside and listened to a bit of a tour, saw some of the architecture on the inside. And that evening we went to a dance performance in one of the smaller theaters. That afternoon we went on a cruise around the harbor.
They tuck themselves in and just sort of wedge themselves so they don't
Pretty
fall
much.
off.
So the closest relative to koalas are wombats, and the one thing that they have in common is a very tough back plate. He's using that at the moment to wedge himself into a fork in the branch, like what he's doing right here, which is what most koalas will sit like. And he'll wedge himself in there, he'll hold on. If it's really cold or he wants to go to sleep, he'll curl himself up into a ball, balance himself in there, and just fall asleep pretty much. They spend their whole lives up in trees. They avoid coming to the ground if they don't have to. They do come to the ground to get from tree to tree occasionally, but they can jump relatively well. 1.5 to 2 meter jump from branch to branch is not.
These are pictures from the Blue Mountains, which are just north of Sydney. And it was a beautiful day. The Blue Mountains are called Blue Mountains because there's a blue hue in the air from all the eucalyptus oil that's in the air. It was beautiful, but it was very chilly that day, so we had on all of our clothes that we had brought with us and jumped in and out of the car to stay warm. On our last day in Sydney, we had time to go check out the zoo by the harbor and the aquarium. This is an echidna, and this is a Tasmanian devil. This is called a dugong. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but you'll see the spelling in a second. It's a relative of a manatee, but it has a different tail. It looks more like a dolphin's tail. While staying in Port Douglas, we had two opportunities to go snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef. This first time is in the outer reefs, and we took a boat out and snorkeled. And there's a few pictures that we have from the underwater. The second time was in the lower aisles, and we didn't have a camera. So these are the only pictures you'll see of us actually in the water with some fish. And on this trip, we also had the opportunity to take a helicopter ride back. And you'll see those pictures in a minute.
Hello. Hello. Sit. Hello.
We flew out to the center of Australia to see Uluru, and you just saw some pictures of it during sunset. And these are our pictures when we went for a sunrise breakfast to see the sunrise over it. On our second day in the middle of Australia, we went to see Katajuta, which are these bubble-shaped rocks, and a large number of sections of these are still a sacred site for the Aboriginal people, so you're not allowed to walk through them, but we could take a hike through part of the center of a couple of them. On our last day in Central Australia, we took about a 2 hour drive down this dirt road to see some cave paintings, Aboriginal cave paintings that are thousands of years old. And on the way, we passed this rock that's in the background. It's called Mount Connor, but our guide told us it was also known as Uluru because often people coming from Alice Springs would see that and they would think that it was Uluru, when in fact it is not. Well, we don't have any pictures of the cave paintings because we were not allowed to take any. These are some tools that the Aboriginal people used in their daily lives just to carry things. And then this is some of the views we were allowed to look at, but a lot of the sites were sacred, so we couldn't take photos of many of them. These are witchy grubs, which we had the pleasure of getting to try. They are a food source for the Aboriginal people, and this is what they look like cooked, and they taste sort of like potatoes, sort of like eggs. They're not too bad, but I don't know if I'd go after them.
Oh, cute. Like this one? The sound of eating them. Yummy, yummy.
Go. Yes. Loving the food today, aren't you, Chloe? So sleep for the rest of the day now. Nice. Show me. Yeah. Yes, Chloe. What are you doing, Missy? She's come down to do a wee, so she's weeing. You gonna do a wee? Or have you already done one? You probably already did one, did you? Come on. Come on. You coming back up the tree? No, I need to do a wee first. Okay, you can have that one, buddy.